right. Good morning, Freedom Team. Monday morning. What is it, June 29th? Wow, we're halfway through the year.
Yeah.
And as always, we are just so excited, you guys, to be interviewing somebody who is another rock star. Huge, huge production, big revenue share team, doing them both. Was there something I wanted to announce here this morning? Oh, we're going to start it next week, right? We're going to be moving things. I think we got a text going out, but our Connect to Collaborate, you guys, that we do on Wednesdays, because the big meeting that EXP has that used to be on Fridays is moving to Wednesday at the same time slot. So it'll be 9 a.m. You'll have the big meeting where they usually interview four different icon agents, and then we're going to take our Connect to Collaborate and move it to Friday at 9 a.m. All right, just kind of an update. We'll have a text. I think that all starts next week. But anyway, let's kick off Miss Marty Hampton. We have a big, big special guest here. We're so grateful, Marty, for you coming on. I'm sure your schedule's busy like most big producers. Let's kick off. Here's a little bio about Marty. With over 35 years' experience, Marty has built a reputation as an industry innovator and one of the most trusted names in North Carolina real estate. Her dedication to excellence and genuine care for her clients set her apart, ensuring every client finds the perfect investment or dream home. Oops, hold on. I was just letting that person in. I need to give you permission here in just a second. Marty's business is founded on integrity, transparency, and personalized service, making her a respected leader in Triangle luxury real estate. She has done 5 billion in sales with a B, over 10,000 families served. She was recognized as the number one team in the US and number three in the world during her time with Remax. Her mission is simple: provide unparalleled service, build lasting relationships, and deliver outstanding results for our clients and team members. On her rev share, you guys, she has 30 FLQAs and 273 in her organization. Wow. So, hey, Marty, we are just so grateful, dear, for you to come on here. Kelly, let me give you permission, if I may, to let people in. Make you co-host. Here we go. Well, Marty, why don't we start things off this way, if you wouldn't mind? So you've had a long career in real estate, 35 years. That's amazing. You must have got started when you were 10. You look amazing as well. So why don't you start? How did you end up hearing about EXP? How long have you been here? And what, I guess, moved you to leave Remax and come over to EXP?
Well, I had a long career with Remax, and it was the place to be. I came to Remax in 1996, and it was the EXP of its time. It was
Yeah.
the place to be. It was the first one who started giving you big commission checks. And if you were a pro and if you were really doing this stuff seriously, of course you wanted to go to a place that would give you 100% or 95% of your income. And so I made that switch, and I was so scared to do so because I was with a traditional company, and I was their top agent. And so, I've been pumping that for years, and I said, oh, I'm scared to leave this position. But the reason I did was because I was a broker owner with Remax, and I wasn't just an agent with Remax. I owned a brokerage. And so with broker ownership, there's a lot of fees, there's a lot of expenses, but I never gave up my personal business. So, and when I looked at, where I was earning the most money, there's just no doubt that I was earning the most money on my team, not on my brokerage. So I made that switch. It was a hard switch to do. But it was a very fruitful switch for me, and I doubled my income the first year I was at Remax. I was their Rookie of the Year in the first year I was there, and I doubled it because I was so darn scared, because I'd left everything I knew, and so we went through the 2008 downturn, and really our market started going down then, but it lasted all the way through 2014. It was probably 2015 before it started going up again. And all during that time, I had purchased a commercial building. So I had a lot of millions on the line, which is not I wasn't going home I did have a great house, but it wasn't a luxurious house that I was working for. It was bricks and mortar that I had for Remax. And I'm glad I made that investment because I made it strategically, and it turned out to be a good investment for me. But when honestly, I saw EXP, a couple movers and shakers in my market looked at it, And I said, I'm gonna look at this thing. And I did. And I made a head decision that this would be better financially. And so I moved, and it was kind of amusing because that Remax has a big their yearly gathering in Vegas in March. And I had asked them if I could leave because remember, I had a contract, I was the owner, if I could leave January 1. And they said, yeah, you could do that for about 376,000. And I said, no, I don't think I want to do that. So I stayed, every minute. It was like a forced teenager having to be whatever. I wasn't in a good attitude about it. But y'all, I
Yeah.
took down the sign on the corner from the Remax sign and put up an EXP sign, which I got spanked for. But I put up an EXP sign, and it happened to be on the first day of their convention in Vegas. And I hear that it went through the auditorium, everybody passing it on and passing it on. So there was a hush in the crowd. So that's how I came.
And that was what year?
That was 2000.
In 2000. Okay,
Hmm.
you mean that you came to EXP?
Yes.
Okay, so you mean 2020 maybe.
Yes. I'm sorry,
Okay.
2020.
Okay, I'm saying
Get
thinking
my
something
zeros mixed
2020.
up.
Okay. And so who was it that attracted you over? Was it one of the big other
It was
agents there in the
Tina
market?
Call, and it was Sharon Evans. Sharon Evans had worked with me at Remax for 20 years. So, and I got her when she first came in the business, and I respect her. She's just a smart as whip gal, and I respect her business sense. And so I said, oh, let me look at this. And of course, I knew Tina Call. We had gone up against each other on some listings, this, that, and the other. And so I knew her. I didn't know her as well, but
Yeah,
I met with them both. I looked at it.
I got you. And
Mhm.
what was it that enticed you the most out of everything you looked at over here?
Well, honestly, RevShare probably did entice me the most because of that. And I thought the cloud brokerage was a great model, especially for we have a lot of rural places in the United States of America and the world, and they, can't get to. I work in a big metro area, so it's a large market, but there's a lot of people that work in small markets, so they don't have a chance to get around training and top producers and frankly be all that they want to be or can be without that training.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
So when you came over, did you obviously you brought your team. How large was your team when you first came over?
My team has always run, somewhere around 12 people to low 20s.
Okay, okay. So you come over, you make the move. Did you, since RevShare was the enticing thing, did you and the group start to attract immediately, or what did it look like when you
Yeah,
first
we
moved?
did. And I really I'm a hardcore salesman from the 80s, and I did it all wrong because I try to close agents. And so over the years I have learned uh, that you can't close an agent like I can close a listing, and I can close a listing really well. So you have to build that relationship, which it was harder for me, honestly, because like I told
Yeah,
you, I'm a hardcore salesman. I'm used to going, getting the business, getting it signed, getting it done, and moved on. And recruiting is it's a less aggressive approach.
yeah,
It's more of a relationship approach. So what I've evolved to over the time is just I've come back to the center, and I really want to attract people who are attracted to the way that I present myself and the way that I do business. And that's a hard one to find because the work habits in our business have failed our profession, frankly. We started working from home. Maybe it happened before COVID. It really happened with COVID. So now
mhm,
the work habits of the typical real estate agent don't serve them well. So I try to improve that with my team. I try to tell them the way that their work habits are going to it makes all the difference in the world, and how you present yourself makes all the
yeah,
difference in the world, your level of confidence. But I find most people don't go to the work with an intent to get something done. They just go through the days and let real estate kind of happen to them. And my theory is if you let real estate happen to you, you won't like the outcome.
Yeah, yeah. That's very interesting. I love your approach, and I ask another invitation. It can be a couple months down the road, but from a production standpoint, on Tuesdays, we bring other big agents on like yourself to do some kind of a training on what you do to obviously achieve the kind of numbers you do. Would you be open, even if it's a few months down the road, to
Oh,
do it?
sure. Glad to
Okay.
help.
A lot of times we'll get 40, 50, 60 people on those. Well, let's go back to this. So things have changed. So how do you let the market know? Do you do social media posts? How do you let them know about your work habits and attract the kind of tribe that you're wanting to?
Well, it's an ongoing game. In every day, I don't have it all figured out. Every day I come to work to try to get better at what I do. And I think every professional wants to get better. You never you never arrive. You're always
Yeah.
working to get to be better. And while you're working to get better, everything is changing. All the dynamics around you, AI, social
Hmm.
media, everything is changing. The public is changing. I've heard somebody said recently we have um, a famine of trust from the public. So, being that trustworthy person, I want to tell you a silly story that meant a lot to me. My husband is retired from software industry. He owned a software company, and we're remodeling a house up. We're putting a new porch on a house that we've got up in the mountains of North Carolina. So he's up there, and the workforce up there is questionable. Can I say
Mm,
questionable?
yeah.
They don't show up on time. They tell you they're going to call. They don't come, this, that, and the other. Well, he had to do something with his tire. It was a really small thing with the tire. So he was unrelated to the construction that was going on. He was going into different garages. And so this is basically a little college town in the mountains of North Carolina. So he went into the first place, and there was a kid behind the counter, didn't acknowledge him. uh, I don't know whether he had his feet propped up, but he certainly didn't look at my husband when he came in the door. He didn't
Yeah.
stop his conversation. He didn't say, I'll be with you in a minute or
Yeah.
anything. He didn't acknowledge him. And then when he finally did continue that conversation, which, by the way, was very wordy. In other words, he could have ended the conversation earlier. It might have been a personal call. He finally got to my husband, and then he just acted like he didn't want his business. And you know what? He didn't, because he didn't own the place. It wasn't his brand. It wasn't his money that was paying
Yeah.
for him to be there. So he didn't care. I'm very lucky that I've got a wonderful, wonderful, I call her my director of first impression. Her name is Amy. And she is sunshine to my front office. And when you walk in this office, you're going to get noticed, you're going to
Yeah.
get served, and you're there to do business. And he went on, he went to another place, and this is a very small job that he was doing on his car. And the
Yeah.
guy jumped right to it. He jumped right to it. He fixed it right away. He let him go on his way with a very reasonable price. I can promise you, my husband will go back to that second garage before he goes back to the first. So it's just that work attitude that you've got when you're there
Yeah.
that
Oh,
really
yeah.
matters.
Well, I live in the mountains of Colorado. I'm way up here as well, and we talk about it all the time. If you need a plumber, a maintenance man, whatever, same thing. Can't find anybody reliable, dependable, and if you do even find a plumber just for him to come out to your place, it's $150.
Oh
Just at
yeah,
least 150 an hour, and half the
oh
time
yeah,
they show up late, they reschedule. Yeah, it's crazy. Total
yeah.
crazy. Um, so let's talk a little bit about your tracks. You've got a large team. I mean, almost 300 agents. You've only been here 6 years. So did a lot of the growth start to come here in the latter part once you sort of figured out what you were going to do for attraction? Has most of that come
You know,
lately?
it evolved from the people that I brought in. They brought people in. And so, for a long, long time, I had a number in mind that I was trying to grow through on attraction, and we're at that first number. So now it's time to up that number. But honestly, I just focused on being the best I can to the agents that I'm in front of. last Thursday we had a mixer. It was a small mixer in my office, and we had, I think, maybe 8 to 10 people that were possibly going to join our team in there. And so I enjoyed that time. And we had 3 people up and talk about it. I had my top producer, I had a brand new agent, and we had one of my team members did the MC thing, and we talked a couple of questions, but it wasn't anything hardcore. It
Yeah.
really wasn't. It was about the business, and are you in the place where you can be your best every day? Are you around people that challenge you? Are you motivated to to be your best, your highest
Mhm.
quality? And so you if you don't come to work with your game face on, say you guys don't understand this, but we women, if we put on mascara, you'd be surprised at all the things that we do. It would scare you. Uh, I remember my husband saying when we first got married, and that was 30 some years ago, he said, "Do you do that every day?" And I said, "Yeah, every day." So put my game face on and go to get, go there to do business. And so if you get at that and make every opportunity, everybody that you're in front of, if you're talking to a renter that can't buy for 100 years, for that moment of time that you're talking to that renter, you better be your best. And certainly you rightly judge who to spend time with after you have that interaction. But
Mhm.
folks, all the world's a stage, and all the men and women are merely players, and we are playing a role every time we come to work. How do we want to be seen? How do we want to present ourselves? That's really
Yeah.
important to me.
You know what's so funny? I talked to my children about that. Even when like I used to wait tables back 40 years ago, and same kind of approach. You never know. And I was approached probably once a month, somebody that owned a company. I'd be waiting on them. And when I was in my early 20s, they'd be like, or late teens, early 20s, they'd be like, I'll tell you what, young man, if you're ever looking for a career, because I would commit, I would just be all over. So that's interesting. I love your approach with that.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so when you just did your meeting in your office, did you guys do social media posts? Did you just pick up and call agents? And what were you inviting them to?
It was a mixer. Basically, it was an EXP mixer. And
Okay.
it was just a come share. We had a bartender.
Okay.
Always scared about that. I gotta have a limit on drinks, but no, we didn't have any over drinking. But we had a cute little menu. One of them was a full commission check, and I don't remember what the rest of them were, but they were all drinks related to you know
Yeah.
um, real estate. So it was fun. It was
And
fun.
and so and so it was an EXP. You promoted it as an EXP mixer. So were you talking about EXP when people came up and spoke, or was it just training to help them
No,
grow?
they were asked about EXP. The guy that was running it, but it wasn't a long involved presentation. Here you go, you get level number one, you get level number two, and this, that,
Yeah.
the other. Basically, we were talking about the opportunity at EXP within a team. What's the difference between that and the opportunity of EXP as your own brokerage? You want to be your own agent. You don't want to be on a team. So we talked a little bit about how that looks.
I gotcha. And
Mhm.
what was the outcome after you guys got done? You said
We
eight,
got
10
4 or
people.
5 appointments this week. I think we'll do some, but I'm at the point of my team where I really it's really hard for me to say, but it's 1 in 1,000 that I would want to hire new to this. But I want somebody to at least have done 5 or 6 deals before they come to my team because I've got precious leads that I've spent a lot of money on. And when if you ever play basketball or you want to pass the ball to somebody that can make the shot, and
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
really, really important to me.
Yeah. And we talk about that all the time. If you're going to go out there and try to attract, whether it's somebody brand new or somebody doing 6 to 10, it's still going to be the same effort. You might
Right.
as well go after the one that's most likely going to cap and you don't have to hold their hand the entire time.
Mhm.
Um, so today, your strategy, you've been here now 6 years. Do you mind me sharing? Is your focus at all beginning to shift more toward, you know what, man, this rev share and where it could go and what it could do for you and your family is more focus starting to shift toward rev share? Are you still kind of 50-50? What does it look like for you daily, weekly when you're working?
Honestly, it's to be bluntly honest, it's probably 75% team and 25% focus on rev share. I really
Okay.
think if I can show a path to people, a lot of people come to work. I've been around for a long time, and I've got a well-known name in this market, and a lot of people come to this team, and I think they feel intimidated. They want to be me, but they don't want to put in the 35 years of hard work I put in to get here. But they think that they're smarter than me, and you know what? That's great because they can go off my team and be an independent Remax, an independent EXP agent and have their own name.
Yeah.
And aye, Captain, good luck with that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's ultimately, I think, one of the big attractors to people have built teams and independent brokers is you can come over here, continue to build, but if somebody's ready to spin off, they don't leave the brokerage. They at least
Right,
stay in your rev share group. So
right.
huge benefit.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah. So is there a goal in mind? Yeah, I heard you just say a second ago, you're looking to stretch it now. You're getting close to 300. I guess you hit that first milestone.
Well, honestly, I'm going to have to recruit within my team. When we recruit within our team, and when we're going through that recruitment appointment, you can tell whether somebody would be happy on the team or whether they'd rather be an independent agent. You can tell.
Yeah.
And so you direct them that way. And the things that you can do jointly that I'm looking to do that I think will probably ultimate, at least I hope it will increase the rev share altogether is I have one YouTube channel right now, which is a great tool to for people that are relocating to my area.
Yeah.
And I want to do a second YouTube channel that highlights the houses that we list with something that doesn't have my name on it, but of course I own it. And that way I can give those people on my rev share or something away. And believe me, I can work up some stats that after probably 6 months or so, we'll have an incredible market for people coming and looking at our homes that are listed. And they can use that when they go out and get a listing. Because now the people on my team, I can get. I gave it a couple of weeks ago to sales meeting. I said you can use this, and when somebody asks you, well, what do you do to get buyers to my house? You can say, well, here's our relocation program, and we've had 85,000 people view this year so far, and it's 6 months into the year. So when you can put something tangible in front of the market, and so looking to build rev share, and this is so much different than the business was when I first came in the business. But to be in all the right places, it costs money. And it costs money to have your homes in the right places. And frankly, it costs money to list homes. And we are a listing team. I am a listing team. I've always been a listing agent since about, I'd say 5 years into the business, less than 5 years into the business. So that's the plan. That's the plan for here now to do that second YouTube channel that's focused on our houses. I've got some things I want to do that I feel like will be a step up from, oh, here's the kitchen. Isn't this a wonderful kitchen that they did here? And you've got your pantry. And, I think we can do it better. So I'm looking to do it more creative, more better. More better
Love
stuff.
it. Love it. What was I just thinking about since you said that? Your so your team right now, do you do anything to inspire, teach, train, motivate to help the team want to grow the rev share as well? Do you have like weekly meetings or anything like that?
Every Tuesday, 11 o'clock. I'll be talking to them tomorrow. And we're talking about, right now, I think I'm trying to sell them on the team concept. Real estate has got to be, when the big boys got into our industry, and big boys, I'm talking about Zillow, and Realtor.com's been there forever, but they did a whole lot less than they could have done for our industry. But when Zillow got in the business, certainly then it's become a commodity, and the agent took second place. And that changed our industry a lot. And it changed what the team leader, the old time broker in charge, has to do in order to give their company, their agents, the benefit. In the old days, You just had more agents. You have 800 agents. Of course, 80% of them didn't do any business, but you had them on your rolls.
Yeah.
So you sounded like a really big team, but it wouldn't do me any good to have 800 people in my
Yeah.
downline if none of them were selling real estate. We're still selling real estate over here. Let me share to you how we do that. Let me tell you what you've got to do that. The work that you've got to do before you do your work is really important.
Hmm. Love it. Yeah, and I'm sure you heard this stat. I think it was 20 last year, 25, 72% of approximately 1.5 million agents did not sell a home. Did you
No,
hear
but
that? I
I've
mean,
heard stats like that. 72% out of 150 agent,
no,
150,000 agents.
out of approximately 1.5 million in North America, did not sell a house. I heard this about 2 months ago on one of the EXP Zooms going on, and then it went up to 83%. The next 11, three houses or less. So only
I
17% of 1.5 million sold more than three homes. So
love
just
those stats.
it goes back
Yeah,
right to what you were saying, though. I mean, you need to be very, kind of careful about who you're attracting because you're going to have to, if they're not doing a lot of production, you spend all that time with them, you're training them, and you got a good chance 70% aren't going to sell anything. So, yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
Well,
no
I bet
doubt.
you that 83% that did three or less, I bet they'd sell your house for $500.
Exactly. Yeah, they're desperate, doing whatever they got to do, no doubt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so let's where we want to go with this, Kelly? Anybody? Some because I got maybe one other question before I open it up to the group. A lot of people on here, obviously, probably most, do not have a team. They're solo agents. They're over here at EXP. And a lot of people might go back and listen to this recording in our group later. What might you say with all your experience now knowing everything about EXP, where the market's at today? What would you say to somebody that's on here right now or views this later? They're wanting to get started in revenue share. How might you coach them?
Well, I'd say sell some homes yourself. Do it
Yeah.
well. Get to know the agent on the other side of the deal. Don't try to close them the first time out. Be a great agent in that co-op sale. I would tell you to reach high for your own personal production. If you're an independent agent, I'd say to reach high. Because if you reach high, eventually you'll have more business than you can handle. You can bring on an assistant, whatever. Um, Give it a while. I mean, it doesn't, listen, when I joined EXP, I figured I could do it in the first 6 months. I mean, I am a great salesman after all, but, but it was a slower pace. So be ready for that. And don't lose heart. Don't lose heart. Stay excited about the great opportunity because you are judged every day on how you show up. The public judges you, the other agents that you're working with judge you. I mean, you're judged. It's harsh reality that we are judged, but we are judged every day by everything that we do.
It sounds like so much of what you're teaching on right now, which is kind of a unique approach, is it starts with you. You've got
Yeah.
to be the best that you can be. You got to show up every day, have your game face on, and you will begin to attract other people that either have talent, but they're wanting to go to another level. And you're just going to attract them by being who you need to be, which is the best you can be.
hmm hmm
Right. So it's a unique approach. I
Yeah.
like that. It kind of starts with
Yeah. I, I
you.
I think there was, to be bluntly honest, which I'm always am. There was some people early on in my market uh, that were simply rev share people. And listen, if you've got that talent, you have to know yourself. I'm not that. I've never been a networker in business. I've gotten where I've gotten by coming in every day, putting in the work, and doing the best job I could. But there are people that are talented by the extreme that can, but I think that's a very small percentage. I don't know. There's people that just do rev share. I can think of right now a real famous agent in Canada that just does rev share. And I've watched a couple of his videos and everything. And man, he's got it made. He doesn't have any expense. He's not running a team.
Mhm.
He's got people. And if you've got that talent, you go get it. You got to know yourself and your talent. You've got unique talents that I don't have. So if that's your talent, more power to you. Have it. Enjoy it. But
Yeah.
it's going to take a while. So be in it for the long run. Don't get discouraged. Um, choose who you want in your business. It's
Yeah.
better to,
Yeah.
it's like getting married.
Yeah. And Marty, I am that rare person who joined, and I have not sold houses. So I do
Uh-huh.
only rev share, but I attend all the trainings and everything on the production side. So
Right.
I'm obviously very aware of what happens, how buyers, how it all works and stuff, but I spend my time doing that and growing a team and so forth. So, but I agree, that is very, very rare. And very few people can do that because you have to already have a base income, something coming in that would allow you to focus your effort there. So that's not going
Exactly.
to be 98% of our audience isn't going to be that anyway.
Right.
Um,
Well, hats off to you. I think that's a great skill.
yeah. And like you said, the biggest benefit I see to all of it is your expenses are very low. That's
Mhm.
the, huge benefit and so forth. But so going forward, would now that you sound like you're established things moving forward, would you change anything that you've been doing if you look back over the last year or two, or do you feel like you kind of, I know like you said, you're always trying to figure this thing out. Do you feel like you're on the right path in the way you want to grow the organization now?
Well, honestly, that little mixer, I hadn't done a mixer in a year. And that little mixer that we did was so impressive to me because the people that I got to meet, the agents, and there were other EXP agents there that frankly needed direction. I mean, so getting him to come to a team like mine, which has some structure, it's not perfect, but it does have some structure and some expectations, they were so hungry. They were so
Hmm.
hungry. And there's only one in a million like you that can just do, and there's so much training online, but sometimes, I think salespeople get a lot of energy by the other salespeople that are around them. And being on a computer all the time is good, my friends, but I'd rather see you face to face than on a computer. And
Yeah.
that way I could look into your eyes and I could connect.
Yeah. I'm always looking for the hungry. And so a lot of those people that showed up are hungry. Do you do any attraction at all outside your market? Or you mainly just focus there in North Carolina?
Well, I think that would be a great thing. One of the best attractors in my market, I'm sure you know of her, Tina Call. She does everything online. She does a training channel online, and I just haven't had the energy to do that yet. But I think probably the third channel I would do would be a training channel for agents, and
Yeah.
I think that would be a great way to attract people.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let me open it up to the few, those of you that are here. Questions at all for this rock star who obviously shows up every day with 100% game face ready to grow and go. What other questions you guys have for Marty? Anybody?
I would ask, Marty, thank you so much for being on and sharing. And as a Remax broker owner, you mentioned a lot of fees, a lot of overhead. What does that look like as I know we really can't be reaching out to broker owners and interference in contracts, but when we do have that conversation, because I am in conversation with one broker owner right now, what does it look like on that side for them?
Well, I beware because I don't know the details of it, but I know Remax just joined with somebody and they're going to relax their fees for a year and something really ridiculously strong. But I would say just our biggest competition is Compass, and Compass is glitzy and they're in all the high-end shopping centers and things like that. But the biggest problem with Compass that people don't really get is that once you sign that paperwork with Compass, it costs you to leave. You're going to have to pay something to leave, and people don't understand the contract that they're signing, and that's part of the game. I'm not sure I understood the contract I was signing with Remax, but they are changing, and they're changing. Make no mistake, they're changing because of EXP and what we've started in the industry. So if
Can
you're
you
dealing
elaborate?
with a Remax agent, um, when I was with Remax, there's a fee for every single agent that you have in your company. And one time I had 100 agents. So I had to collect those fees. And believe me, you don't want to be a bill collector. I
Hmm.
don't like it. So if you got 100 agents and 10% of them are not paying that month, it falls on you. Remax doesn't care about your agents not paying. So that's the way it was when I was at Remax. And then they went through the period of time where we all went down in 2008 and they actually adjusted. And if you were a broker owner, many of the broker owners at that time relaxed some of the fees on their agents themselves. And then they never caught that back up because the fees that you charge your agents are really just to run your office, pay
Hmm.
the lights, play the, pay for the copier and everything like that. So I would say know the contract, know what they're dealing with right now. I've got a few friends in Remax I can find out, but I know their new merger. Who was it with, by the way? Who's that merger?
Real with
Real?
real.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, isn't that funny? The one that
Yeah.
was known for brick and mortar is going with the one-off of EXP. Real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, elaborate on what you said. If someone signs with Compass, can you elaborate? What's going on with that contract?
Well, you never if they give you any kind of bonus for signing, which was common in our area for a long period of time, if you leave before that contract is up, you have to repay that money. But
Yeah.
even if there's no money involved and they sell you on a 90% of your production when you get into real production, which is when you're selling $200 million worth of real estate per year, that's a lot of money. And that's in perpetuity. You sign that contract, it never changes. You go with EXP, of course, you get to that point where you don't pay anything. And we get to that point the first month that we cap. I'm capped. I've got an icon team, so I can cap that out the first month that we are in production after our cap. So
Yeah.
then it becomes I can put that money back into my business. And
I
of
got
course, I've also done the stock, which is, uh, it's up and down, but it's a
yeah.
risk like everything. But only thing I can tell you about the stock is it's not doing as good as I want it to right now. But I worked with Remax for 20 years, and I didn't have the opportunity to do stock. So
Yeah.
at least
Yeah.
I've got something that was an opportunity that I believe still is an opportunity.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I just look at the upside. Every time it drops down, it's around that 4, 5, $6. Grab some. Because you know it's going to go back up 10, 11, 12 at some point in time. And we'll see. Maybe the next few years somehow it takes off. I'm always blown away by how it has not taken off when you think we're one of the only large brokerages that are profitable and doing well and still growing year over year. I'm just always shocked that it hadn't gone up higher. I really am.
Well, you get into stocks, you get into talking about personalities and things that are happening outside of the actual business. You're talking about it's just it's a different game. My husband does stocks. Stocks are not my game.
Yeah.
I
Hey,
know about real estate investment. I can help
what,
you with a real estate deal, but I'm not going to tell you about a stock.
what does he say about EXP, about the stock?
Well, he actually just read something to me. Of course, I listened with a half of an ear, but he just read something about we won some kind of award. He said, "This, did you know this?" And I said, "No, I didn't know that. We were the top in some category."
Yeah.
Um, that he keeps up with, and then we're a total buy. When you look at stocks right now, there's people that rate the stocks, and
Mhm.
we are buy. We don't have one that says hold. We buy down through a list of about five people that rate
Well,
that kind of thing.
there you go.
Hmm.
There's today's hint. Bye, bye, bye. Uh, other questions, you guys, and we don't have to keep here the entire hour, but anybody got any question at all for Marty? Anybody else? No? All
I,
good?
I, I have one.
Yeah, go ahead, Melvin.
Good morning, Marty.
Hi.
Thanks for sharing. You mentioned that when you recruit, you in to your agents and recruit through them. Is that what you? what you said? That's what I thought I understood.
Well, one of the things that we do is I've got a sales manager and I have her call every agent that we do a deal with. And I'll give you the short version and say, you know, our TCs loved working with you. All I heard about when we were
Mhm.
doing this deal was how good you were. And Marty heard about it, and she would love to meet you. And they say, "Oh, we're happy where we are." Okay, well, that's good. Just so long as you know. Now, Marty's got a. This is funny. We don't use it all the way, but I like it. I said, she's got a big board of where she puts the agents that she doesn't want to work with anymore, and we throw darts at them. Every Friday. You're not on that board. You can always come to us. We'd love to talk to you just about where you are in your career and how we might be able to give you options to increase wherever you want to go for your next step. Nothing pressure, no pressure, just really a conversation about real estate and what's happening. And where do you think the industry is going to go in the next 5 years? It's always good to get them talking and listen.
Nice. Okay. So
Mhm.
these are agents that you have done business with. These not
Don't
the
deal with
agents that's on your team right now.
the agents that are on my team were at the mixer, and they of
I
course
get it.
invited people to that mixer, but we advertised for that mixer too. I met some
Okay.
people that are Facebook friends of mine I'd never laid eyes on, so it was fun mixer for me.
Excellent. Thank you.
Hmm.
And back to what we were originally talking about. So if somebody has a cross sell within you and your team, you pretty much, if only if they've done, you go look at their history, five or so sales or more, would you even
Right.
call?
Right.
Have your sales manager call. Okay. I got you. And then they set up meetings out of curiosity. What's the approximate percentage? So if they call 10 of them you did deals with in the last week, how many end up setting up an appointment?
On that first call, maybe not but one. But if we call them and we invite them to the next thing that we're doing or the next training that we're doing, it's an ongoing thing. And
Yeah.
to provide value is really a challenging thing to do because everybody's on the internet trying to provide value. Everybody's got a video.
Yep. 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 Yep.
So
Yeah. Like you said, it's ever changing. That's right.
yes.
That's it's interesting you're saying that. Yeah, I'm always trying to think, what could I do different? I'm thinking the same thing. Everybody's out there posting videos, giving away stuff for free and everything now. So
Well,
it is
it
definitely
is, and
hard.
that's the reason I love the in-person thing because
Yeah.
the old saying, they got to know you, they got to like you, they got to trust you. And out of those three things, I can assure you that they know me.
Yeah.
Liking me, I'm not sure they like me until I've had a chance to interact with them. And it's my fervent desire to help agents because I was in uh, a world of mess when I got into real estate. I was a 26-year-old mother of three, single parent, no family support. I mean, I had nothing. And so to have this mixer and to see those people that were struggling, really tore at my heart. Because if there's anything I can do to help them, I want to do that.
I love it. A
Hmm.
servant heart, and yet you're a hard driver. You got a good combo right there, girl. Good combo. Go ahead, Mr. Zach.
Yeah. Hey, Marty, thank you so
Hey,
much for everything. And I was kind of in and out of some of your conversation. I apologize. I just want to commend you on your success. And you actually, I think, just kind of touched on my question. I was just going to ask because I know the market has changed a lot, especially here in Colorado Springs. And I was just curious if there was a point in your career where you felt like maybe for you or your team, or even someone on your team that you were coaching just felt really stuck, and what qualities you had to step into or what kind of helped you overcome that. Because I know there's always a market in a market, and I just wanted to see if there's some redirection or some qualities or anything that you'd recommend in like a time like this right now.
well, first of all, Zach, thanks for the question. Second of all, Zach, I lived in Colorado Springs before you were born.
That's
It's a
awesome.
great city, had a
It
condo
is.
that overlooked Pikes Peak, a great
Wow.
town. I'd love to see. It's been so many years, I'm sure I wouldn't recognize it. But what a great place to live,
Yeah.
with the outdoor life that they've got and everything else that's there. So
Mm.
I think, honestly, most of my life, I've, let's say the first 20 years. first 20 years I was working for my children. That gives you very clear
Hmm.
motivation. And I never will forget, Zach, the first, I had three children and I had two in college at all times. When one would get out, another one would get in. So no relief from me for forever. I remember when the last one I stroked. I remember this, stroking the check for his tuition. And I thought, whew, I don't have to do this anymore. I got
Wow.
some relief. And I was with Remax and I said, well, I just go to Florida,
Hmm.
I can do something different. So I think burnout is real.
Hmm.
I've experienced it that once in my life, but then I had a renewal, and I did go to therapy. To be quite honest with you, and all they want to do is talk about your childhood. Which, if you want to go to therapy, just call me. We'll talk about your childhood. I won't talk. But after that, I said, you know what? You've done it for others for all these years. What could you do if you ever put your mind to it to see how good you could really get at this business? And that is when I went off the charts as far as
Hmm.
production is concerned. So, burnout, and I've experienced it two times in my life. That was the earliest burnout I had. The other burnout has been fairly recently, because as you get older, you can retire. You've got the assets to retire. You can do that. Um, you don't know me that well, but I'm not the sit at home type person. I would not be happy sitting at home. So I thought about that and I thought, well, what would you do? Well, you go travel. Well, I've got some things, I've got some sickness in my family that would prohibit me from doing that. So I really got to stay around. And I guess the biggest thing I could say to you is think about it. What's the thing you can do to go to the next level and go
Hmm.
all in on that? Don't be halfway in it because when your mind, see, the problem with most real estate agents is they think they're working 40 hours a week. What they're really doing is thinking about real estate about 50 hours a week, but actually not working, I'd say less than 20 hours a week.
Hmm.
So go all in, get hardcore as far as I'm going to do this. And it's going to
Hmm.
hurt. And I'm
Hmm.
not going to be successful at it for a while, but I'm not going to quit. I'm
That's
going to give it
awesome.
everything I've got.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Mhm.
Mhm. Yeah, you got that little fire in your belly there, young lady. I
Hmm.
love it. It's that drive. Um, so if you elaborate, I know this is a rev share, but just to touch more on where Zach's going, knowing the way the market is right now, because it has been a crazy 3 years, and then I just gave you those stats earlier.
Mhm.
When you say, go all in, is there, as you look at the market today, are there, with your experience level, one or two things that kind of stand out going, look, if you're going to do some kind of marketing or you're going to go after a niche, is there anything you would kind of recommend for somebody like Zach that's going to just go all in on something? Is there one or two things that stand out to you in today's market?
Well, I think every market's probably different. But early in my career, I went all in on listings. So the bulk of my marketing has to do with the homes that we've sold and the homes that we're trying to attract to list. When it comes to rev share, I'd say the mixers, I'd say the following up with a co-op agent. But one thing I want to caution you on is don't make the mistake I did. It is not a hard sale. It is a relationship sale, and you've got to be willing to lose that time that you've spent with that other agent and be satisfied with, I've helped them anyway. I've been a friend to them anyway. I've increased their uh, ability in some way. They're better off because I spent some time with them. And just do your best to be that person.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. Yeah, just it is coming down to provide value, value, value. And if they ever come, great. If they don't, just keep providing value. Be the
Let it go.
best that you can be.
Let
And
go.
yeah, yep, yep, yep. Love it. Love it. Any other questions here? That's good stuff. Melvin, Zach, Chuck, anyone? Well, if we are wrapping up, first of all, dear, thank you. You got some drive, and I love it. If anything, I
Hmm.
think that I've gathered from this is be the very best you can be every time you show up to anything, anywhere. Somebody's always watching.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I say the same thing also to my kiddos. Don't ever burn bridges. You may have met someone 5 years ago that could change your life in another 3 years down the road. You bump into them again, and they just remembered how you were when you first met. Just that's the perfect mindset you have.
I'll tell you something kind of interesting. I have this young agent that used to be on my team. She's probably 20. I know she was 20 somethings. She's very, I walk into the business meeting that we do. She's on the phone and she's on her phone, like most kids are and everything. And so we were talking about business one time. So I walked into the workplace and I was a little upset with her. And I said, you could do so much better. And I just looked at her. Now, I want to tell you something. She left my team, but I'm having dinner with her tonight because she told me that statement from me turned her career around. So we'll see. I'm glad
Wow.
it helped, whether she comes
So,
back to my team or not.
so she was on your team at EXP or at
She
Remax?
was on my team at EXP. And
Okay.
I walked in, I said, you could do so much better than you're doing. And it wasn't a pleasant conversation. I wasn't commending her, and I'm a natural encourager, but I thought you're just living short of what you could do. And she told me months later, now this is but she left about maybe 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So she wanted to have dinner with me after that. She said, that when you walked in and told me that, it clicked something in me. So don't be afraid to challenge people.
Hmm. That's good. And
Mhm.
so did her production turn around here the last 2 years, or she's still kind of struggling and realizing, you know what, I need to come back from what you could do?
I hadn't checked it. I'm not micromanaging it,
Yeah.
but it's interesting that she's initiated
Yeah.
reaching out to me since then, and
Yeah.
it's fun to hear. And I'm glad she's doing good. Whether she comes back to me or not, let go,
Yeah.
let it go.
Let it go. Love it. Well, Marty, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys. I've enjoyed meeting you. Is everybody, and I see Chuck is from New Orleans, Zach's from Colorado Springs. So y'all from all over the country, or
Melvin
Yeah.
from Los Angeles.
Yeah. Yeah. We're last
Melvin, you're
time.
from LA?
Yeah.
Well, don't you have a good life? I love California.
Me too.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me, guys. Please just email me if you ever need me, Marty@martyhampton.com. I really appreciate you having me.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you so much for coming on, Marty. I hope you finish off a great year, and maybe we'll talk here in the next few months. We'd love to have you over on our production side to do some training over there if you're open.
Thanks so much. Thanks,
Wonderful.
guys.
You
Thank you,
guys, thank you. Have a
Marty.
blessed day, guys. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Oh, 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 hey. Out here on the grind, chasing dreams in the sun, from the Gulf to the hills. Yeah, we're getting